Today with us, we have Garrett Fitzgerald. He's a Senior Director for Electrification at SEPA. At SEPA, he leads the work on transport electrification. He's responsible for the strategy execution and delivery of key projects. We're here to talk today about SEPA's latest research on managed charging programs, which is in partnership with us at AMPECO. So, Garrett, now that the report is out and we can delve into it a bit more, what do you think are the main takeaways from it?
Yeah, hi, Peter, and thanks for having me here to chat about this. I really have three main takeaways. One is there is a little bit of a gap between the expectation or forecast and participation in managed charging and what we're seeing in pilots and programs around the world today. We're at about 30 to 40% of eligible participants engaging in the program. And I think there's a lot of opportunity to increase that. And the paper really provides a number of really great insights of how you can do that and how you can do that in a way that really captures the most valuable customers in your program first. Another key point that's related to that is relying on innovative technology and partnerships is going to allow us to really create a better experience for customers and reach a greater potential of customer participation. And lastly, utilities and OEMs should be proactive in educating drivers and targeting drivers to enroll them in these programs. And I guess there's a fourth point that I didn't want to lose out here, really, is it's important to make sure that from the customer's perspective, the program is simple, they understand the benefits, and they have confidence that they're going to be able to use their vehicle for what they purchased, and that's driving. And so really one of the main points we try to make in the report is the importance of decoupling the back-end sophistication of a program. So you can have a ton of really cool technology operating on the back end, but from the customer's perspective, they don't necessarily need to see that or even understand it. They just need to know, hey, my card's going to be charged and I'm going to get some sort of value, whether that's a rebate or a payment or some other sort of incentive.
Yeah, thanks. Those are all interesting and very important enablers of a more coherent and comprehensive managed charging across the US. We see also in our solution that clearly there's a need to, while providing a complex backend system, you need to make the user UX as simple as possible. And I think this already leads to the increased participation that you mentioned. Would you highlight any other factors that would, from your view, after concluding the report, lead to increased participation in managed charging?
Yeah, so it kind of goes back to education from the very beginning to make sure that your customers, again, have trust that they're going to have access to their car when they need it. And I can't emphasize that enough. Another aspect of increasing participation is making sure that you are targeting the right customer that is willing to participate in exchange for whatever compensation you can provide. And so if you think about, there's a number of different customer segments, and some might be great candidates to shift their charge, others might be less so. And then once you understand which ones are good candidates to shift, there's a subset of those that are going to be willing to allow the program to shift them. You can increase the number that are willing by creating trust with the utility or the third party that's operating the program. And that often happens through early engagement and partnerships with the OEMs and partnerships with the utilities. There are a number of other ways that we can do this, and I would encourage folks to check out the report. There's a lot of great insights specifically from AMPECO and some of the case studies that we highlighted in the project.
Definitely a must-read report. And for those of us who are more aware, probably we see the value already in the context of managed charging, especially as you mentioned, with those groups that can provide the biggest flexibility to the grids. But where do you see, specifically in the context of residential buildings, where do you see there the added value of managed charging exactly?
Yeah, so I think there's value that's going to be created for the utility, and there's value that will be created for if we're talking about a single family home, there's value, or for multi-unit dwelling, there's value. But really, I think it comes down to the cost of electricity changes throughout the day. And so you can create a program that shifts to a lower cost, and that will lower the cost to the residential customer who's paying for the electricity. At the same time, that allows the utility to optimize their infrastructure better. And so they can create savings on the distribution system or on the bulk power system by shifting load to a point where there's already a low amount of energy consumption. There are also values that's created if you are more interested in charging at a lower carbon intensity time of the production. So some folks, they buy an EV because it's really an environmental decision as well as an economic decision. And so you can use the program to shift to times of the day when there's higher levels of low carbon or no carbon energy production. And lastly, I'd say there are a variety of ways you can implement a managed charging program. You can have a time of use rate where there's on-peak and off-peak charging, or you can get more sophisticated where you're actively managing that charging and providing the utility is providing the customer some sort of compensation, whether it's a rebate or it's a payment per period that they're participating. But in the end, it usually is some sort of financial compensation from the utility or the aggregator to the customer that's driving that behavioral shift.
Yeah, I mean, definitely in this context, you can also say that money drives the world around, but certainly a financial incentive goes a long way in the maturing parts of the EV transition. I think ultimately the success of those managed charging programs is also underpinned by effective and flexible solutions that can target those different use cases, that can also place the customer first and take care of the grid. So I think it's a very timely report as we continue with the rollout of chargers and the deployment of EVs on the road. This is a very timely report to give more insight on how to effectively scale the managed charging across the country. So thank you so much, Garrett, for taking the time to share those insights with us. The report is out now, so you can get it for free at the link under the video, and follow this space and SEPA for more insights in that topic. Thanks.
Thanks, Peter. Great chatting with you. And yeah, encourage everyone to go and check the report out and learn from all of the great examples that we evaluate there within the report. Thanks, Peter.
Awesome. Till next time.